Hey y'all, it's getting cold down here in Texas, so I decided to make some keto taco soup. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. So we are going to start out with our ground pork and our ground turkey meat, and we are using these seasonings, onion powder, garlic powder, the slap your mama seasoning, of course, and we're also going to use some ground black pepper. If you have fresh ground, and that's good as well. I put smoked paprika in this. Typically I don't, but I decided to for a little smoky flavor, so I added that onion powder, the garlic powder. I added all of that, and then I added some chipotle chili pepper as well. So my key thing is ranch in here and taco seasoning, so we're going to put that in there after you get your meat ground up really good and browned. Then add the seasonings. Typically, to lock in that flavor, I will do it when the meat is still raw, but this time I didn't. I was pressed for time, so I browned my meat in steps because I was also doing something else at the time. But yes, so pour that ranch in there. Make sure you have your taco soup in there, or your taco seasoning in there as well. So I'm taking my chicken broth, and typically I use Campbell's chicken broth in the can, but I want this to be a really, really, really low sodium soup. So I decided to go with a low sodium chicken broth. In a separate pot, you're going to pour the remaining of that chicken broth in that pot. So we're making the base, or the soup base, for our soup. So you get some better than bouillon beef and then some garlic paste. And we're going to start off by putting our garlic paste in our soup. Pour a nice amount in there, more than a dime size, and then we're going to take just a little bit of that beef bouillon, better than bouillon base, and stir it up in the pot together to get those flavors going, and so you can see everything is stirred up. So now we're going to add the rest of that taco soup package in there. If you had to use 2 packages, that's fine. I used a whole package for my meat, and then I used a half a package for my soup base, and then you pour the remaining of your ranch seasoning packet in there as well. So I grilled some the Holy Trinity, we'll say, on the side. So you're going to pour that grilled to perfection Holy Trinity in that water, and what you're going to do is bring it to a boil and stir it as you see that I'm doing here, because you want to lock in the flavor. Also, don't forget to add tomatoes. I love my soup chunky, especially because I'm keto. So I love for my soup to be chunky with vegetables to bring that hardiness to the soup, since I can't add beans or anything like that. So now we're going to let that boil. You see it bubbling. Give it a stir. We're going to let it boil so it can lock in those flavors of the broth in those vegetables. Yes. So everything is looking good. Look at that. Looking good, looking nice. So give it a stir, let it boil just a little bit more. And then once that boils, what we're going to do is take our ground, and you can use ground beef, ground chicken, whatever you want to use, any type of ground meat, but I used ground pork and ground turkey, and seasoned that up with the ranch and the taco seasoning as I showed you all before. And now you're just going to put it in the pot. Normally I just pour it all over into the pot. I was dipping it in there just to make sure I didn't have more, and plus I was holding the camera with my hand instead of using my tripod, which I should have been using. But yeah, we just gonna roll with this. So I dipped in some meat at a time, and you see how I stirred it in between just to make sure I didn't have more meat than broth. I wanted to make sure that my meat to broth ratio was perfect. So then I added the rest of it, and as you can see here, we have us a chunky taco soup. So after this, I also just stir it in, and I make sure that those flavors lock into the meat as well. But everything was really flavorful, but I just give it just a little boil. I let it boil once over after I stirred, and let those flavors lock and seal in. And look at that. We have a nice bowl of taco soup. So this was a really quick, simple, easy peasy video, you guys, of a flavorful bowl of keto taco soup. And I added some limes, some avocado, and a dollop of sour cream.